First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be possible. Low Nose Boxing. Y'all know what to do. Hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, Low Nose Boxing. I'm having a good day, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm having a very, very good day. I went to the gym, got in a good workout. I saw some female outside a little while ago before I came home on my break, and she actually told me that I look like an action figure, like a modern day G.I. Joe. I'll take the compliment, you know. Anyway, as you already know, the Canelo Alvarez Jermell Charlo fight passed on Saturday. I made a prediction that Canelo Alvarez would win the fight and would score a late round stoppage. The late round stoppage did not happen, but Canelo Alvarez won the fight regardless. I believe if Jermell Charlo would have made a better effort, a more gallant effort, he would have put himself in a position to just put up a better fight. But to put up a better fight, you got to take chances. And I believe Canelo would have stopped him had Charlo would have decided to go all out. He lost that fight. And Jermell Charlo right now, his stock has dropped significantly. Despite the fact that he is an undisputed champion at 154, I personally removed him from my top 10 pound for pound list, him and all 4 of his belts, because of the way that he lost that fight. In boxing, it's about winning and losing, but it's how you win and it's how you lose. Sometimes you can lose a fight and your stock doesn't drop. You can lose a fight and a fighter's stock can rise. The way Charlo fought, he fought as if he was just looking to get paid. He fought as if he was just looking to survive and avoid getting knocked out. So now people are going to be hesitant to pay for his fights on pay-per-view. Leading into the fight, he did a horrible job promoting the fight. He wasn't being himself. The bravado wasn't there, the trash talking wasn't there, and inside the ring, the grit wasn't there neither. So his stock has dropped. Now, when I say that you can still have your stock raised even in the defeat, I'm going to give you Roberto Duran, for instance, who is someone that we're going to talk about today as well. When Roberto Duran moved up to 160 pounds from lightweight and challenged Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who's one of the greatest middleweights of all time, Duran lost that fight, but he won 15 rounds. And his stock didn't rise because he won 15 rounds. His stock rose because he put up a gallant effort. Duran won a lot of rounds. Even though Marvin Hagler clearly won that fight, it was a very close competitive fight. And mind you, this is against probably one of the greatest middleweights of all time. And Duran began his career at 126 and won his first world title at 135. Take modern times, for instance, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He went into that ring against Gervonta Davis, who is a known knockout artist. And not only did he go 12 rounds with Gervonta Davis, he put up a gallant effort. It was a competitive fight. I personally gave Pitbull Cruz 4 rounds. His stock has risen. Juan Manuel Marquez fought Manny Pacquiao 4 times. He only won one out of one of those 4 fights. But his stock rose because every time he fought Manny Pacquiao, he gave him a life and death struggle, a tough fight. The importance of going all out. Some wins, your stock can raise. And some, a lot, your stock can drop significantly. So with that being said, we got that out the way. What's next for Terrence Crawford? I'm about to mention him too. What's next for Canelo Alvarez? Canelo Alvarez, for me, he got 3 options. Coming up in November, we got the big fight between David Benavidez, who is one of Canelo's biggest rivals, if not his biggest nemesis at the moment, along with Demetrius Andrade, who's also one of Canelo Alvarez's nemesis. Those 2 are going to fight in November. The winner of that fight against Canelo Alvarez makes perfect sense. We also got Terrence Bud Crawford, the 2-time undisputed champion at 140 and at 147. 3-division world champion at the end of the day, Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, Terrence Crawford will be moving up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo. How could Canelo get credit for that fight? Terrence Crawford is not any fighter. Terrence Crawford is a special fighter. Terrence Crawford is destroying the competition. Terrence Crawford has not shown any signs of slipping at all whatsoever. So if Canelo Alvarez were to fight and beat Terrence Bud Crawford, I'm giving him all the credit in the world. This is not Canelo beating Amir Khan or beating Kell Brook or beating somebody that's not the best fighter in their weight class. Terrence Crawford is not just the best fighter at 147. He is the best fighter in boxing pound for pound. So we're going to give Canelo all the credit for that if he were to beat Terrence Crawford. Let's not forget, when Sugar Ray Leonard fought Marvelous Marvin Hagler, even though Hagler was the favorite going into that fight, had Hagler gotten the victory in that close fight, Marvin Hagler would have received all the credit in the world, and from me as well. And mind you, Sugar Ray Leonard was retired for 3 years due to an eye injury. To come out of retirement without an acclimation fight, without a tune-up, to go straight to 160 pounds to challenge Marvin Hagler. If Hagler would have won that fight, he would have gotten the credit. So if Canelo Alvarez fights Terrence Crawford, he gets all the credit, just like Marvin Hagler would have gotten all the credit if he would have beaten Sugar Ray Leonard. So, the next option, the other Charlo brother, Jamal Charlo. That's a built-in narrative. That's a built-in storyline, because Charlo would probably want to get his brothers. He probably wants to get that revenge for his brother. Me personally, that's the fight I really don't care about. You beat one Charlo, you beat them both. Right now, the Charlos ain't looking too good right now. Besides, he got business with Caleb Plant that needs to be addressed. Now we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes, the steak and potatoes to the topic. Can Canelo Alvarez surpass Roberto Duran as the greatest Latino fighter of all time? I made a video a few months ago discussing that. And I did say that Canelo Alvarez, in my eyes, has already surpassed Julio Cesar Chavez as the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. However, surpassing Roberto Duran is a whole different animal. Chavez is a legend and all, but if you surpass Roberto Duran, Canelo's basically placing himself in the top 5 all-time list, because that's where I got Duran at. See, my top 5 all-time is Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Roberto Duran. So that's where Canelo would be placed at if he were to surpass Roberto Duran. Now, if you take a look at both of their careers, both fighters have won titles in multiple weight classes. Duran won titles at 135, 147, 154, and 160. Canelo's won titles at 154, 160, 168, and 175. Canelo Alvarez, believe it or not, has a deeper resume than Roberto Duran. He has a longer list of world champions and Hall of Famers that he's beaten. However, Roberto Duran's quality of top guys that he beat surpasses the top guys that Canelo Alvarez has beaten. The one single fight that really makes a big difference between both of them is the fact that when Canelo Alvarez fought a smaller, older, but yet faster and more skilled Floyd Mayweather Jr., Canelo Alvarez lost that fight. Roberto Duran, as a smaller fighter, as an older fighter, with less physical advantages besides punching power and experience, defeated Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, we know in boxing, the best fighters in boxing, the top dominant fighters in boxing are African Americans and Latino fighters. All due respect, big shout out to the UK and everybody else. But the Latin fighters and the African American fighters are the cream of the crop when it comes to boxing, especially in America, right? But I gotta give props to where props is due. When it comes down to it, the African American fighters are the best fighters in boxing, no matter what. Look at the greats. Look at the top 5 list. 4 of the top 5 are African Americans: Ali, Floyd, Leonard, and Robinson. Number 5 is Roberto Duran. So not only did Duran beat a bigger, faster, younger guy, more skilled guy, He beat one of the greatest African American fighters, one of the greatest fighters, period, is Sugar Ray Leonard. It's gonna be extremely hard for Canelo Alvarez to top that. But what he could do is add to the depth of his resume. So for me, in order for Canelo Alvarez to possibly surpass Roberto Duran, if not surpass him on my all-time list, he would have to fight the winner of David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade, preferably David Benavidez, because he's already built in a pretty good resume for himself. If Benavidez beats Demetrius Andrade convincingly, Canelo Alvarez would have to beat him, right? And then he would have to beat Terrence Bud Crawford. I would like for Terrence Crawford to get a belt at 154 first, so that the weight jump is only going to be 2 weight classes rather than 3. If Canelo Alvarez can beat David Benavidez and Terrence Bud Crawford, I might have to put him ahead of Roberto Duran as the greatest Latin fighter of all time. That remains to be seen whether that's going to happen though. So with that being said, thank you for taking the time out to watch the video. Please share the video, leave a comment, like, subscribe, Low Nose Boxing, because once again, Low Nose Boxing, I'm out.